Go.
Streaming from South Africa to the world. This is the Stonks Go Moon podcast. What just happened? We break it down so you don't have to.
Welcome everyone to the Stonks Go Moon podcast. My guest today, Darran Garnham. He is the founder of Toikido. Yes! Nailed it!
Nailed it. Perfect. First take. No one will know.
Oh, Darran, thank you so much for joining me. You are an absolute legend. Hard-hitting question straight off the cuff. How do we feel about how do we feel about pineapple on pizza?
Not for me. Not for me. You know what? I didn't eat pizza until I met my wife. And she introduced me to pizza. It's amazing, isn't it?
Such a funny thing. I asked the community yesterday. Questions for Darran. You know, he's chats with GaryVee. He rubs shoulders with the Pokémon guys. And one guy says, "Oh, what does it feel about pineapple on pizza?" I thought, okay, that's interesting. This is going to be interesting.
I love it.
Listen, Toikido has seen phenomenal success with your launch in 2020, especially with hits like Pinata Smashlings. What inspired you to create Toikido?
Yeah, good question. Listen, my kids. I've got three boys.
Awesome. Happy belated Father's Day.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah. I was like, do you know what? Look, I was looked after yesterday. My kids gave me this.
Oh man, how awesome is that?
And it's a questionnaire. I'll come back to your question. It's a questionnaire, and it's like, Daddy's favorite food. What's Daddy good at? And lots of it. What's Daddy good at? Work. If Daddy was a cartoon character, who would he be? Mario, because he works hard. So my favorite, and I'll come back to Toikido. My favorite was Daddy always says, "Read the room." I say
importing knowledge on the young ones. I love it.
I say to my kids, boys, read the room. There's some you have to ask for things at the right time and read the room. Anyway, Toikido, listen, it was lockdown. Prior to Toikido, I'd been working in some unbelievable business, unbelievable brands, traveling a lot. And then lockdown came and I was with my kids. I was watching what they were playing, what they were watching, what they were consuming. And I spotted what I thought was spotted a gap. Spotted a gap in speed of entertainment for today's generation. These kids, I've got a presentation, and it starts, and the thing is, when's it coming? Because my own kids don't ask me, or me actually. Like, we don't go to shops. We don't. You press buy online, and then the first question, when's it coming?
Yeah, if it's not today, it's a problem. Maybe tomorrow, but maybe today, maybe.
Yeah, exactly that. So I was watching the kids were playing a lot of Among Us, and I saw there was no product for Among Us. So I got hold of the developers, three great people, and this game had blown up, and we signed global rights to work on that game, and that was the start of Toikido. But I always wanted to develop our own IP and be trend and try and get IP in front of people in new forms. So whether it's on Roblox, whether it's in mobile, whether it's in Web3, because I truly believe that the biggest brands of tomorrow are going to come from this space. Because listen, you talk to your community directly now. Yeah. Like it used to be that you put a movie out or a show out, and then you cross your fingers and you look at ratings and you look at box office and you look. But now, God, I mean, listen, my Discord blows up. My Telegram's blown up.
Yes.
And and Gary, listen, we'll talk about GaryVee, I'm sure, but Gary's taught me very wisely, just always be on, always be available. Answer all of the tough questions. Don't shy away from them. So, So listen, that was Toikido. There's 16 of us in the business now. We've got listen, great plans. Bad eggs being one of the core focuses.
We'll get to bad eggs.
Okay.
One thing that I've realized with my children is that they don't like the same stuff that we did as children. We played with marbles. Stickers, well, like you remember Panini stickers and collecting
Yeah.
stickers, they don't want any part of it. So, I mean, for me, they're more into stuff like Roblox and talking about Roblox, Pinata Smashlings. It's a unique blend of physical and digital gaming and toys. I think that's something that they see on something on YouTube and they go, "Oh, daddy, that I want
Exactly
that."
that.
So
Yeah.
how do you balance the integration of digital and physical experiences for children today?
Yeah, I think, listen, I'm also a big believer that kids should be doing other things away from digital. So listen,
Yeah,
I'm in the space to make a success of what we're doing.
yeah,
But all my kids are rugby swimmers. They're cricketers. They're out doing stuff as well. But I think that you're right. That blend of this is where the entertainment is. If it's in their hand, they're not looking up at screens anymore.
yes,
So what I really wanted to do was have that. If you've got this in your hand, then
yes,
what can we physically put in your hand, and can we connect the two in some way? And actually, nothing's really done it brilliantly since Skylanders, which none of our kids, like my kids, won't know what that is.
no,
Yeah, exactly that. But
yeah,
what we've done at Toikido is I've hired some brilliant people. I've hired from Meta and from King, who really understand that physical digital element. And we've got some great apps and technology that we're developing behind the scenes to make it even more seamless,
yeah,
to connect the two. And listen, that's why we jumped into Roblox with Pinata Smashlings. We, similar to, and we'll come on to Bad Eggs, but
yeah,
Roblox was the first piece of content that Pinata Smashlings had. So we didn't go animation or like we did game first. And now we have a huge animation project. I mean, it's a $12 million budget in development for Pinata Smashlings.
wow,
So
crazy.
the anime, I watched the first show with the kids this weekend. It's wicked. So the first episodes will start airing in summer 25.
Those are dad goals. Because how awesome is it? Like, daddy did this. Daddy did this. Well, okay, fingers crossed I like it, because otherwise it's going to go, this sucks. And that's not going to be great.
But Rocco, you know the biggest pain for my kids is,
Yeah?
listen, I've been doing this for 27 years, this space now.
Yeah.
So I started with Pokemon back in 99 to 2004, 2005.
Legend.
I didn't keep anything.
Oh,
I gave all of my cards to buddies of mine with kids because, listen, I was in my early 20s. Like, trading cards meant nothing.
yeah, mate, you could have been retired by now.
I know. And my kid, like, and I could, whenever I tell my oldest boy, Freddie, he's now buying cards off eBay and he's trading them. And I'm like, oh man, I had all of them in 7 languages. It wasn't even like anyway. It's fine.
Okay,
You live and learn.
Live and learn. Let's move on swiftly to Bad Eggs. Bad Eggs introduces digital collectibles that celebrate skateboarding culture and community-driven brand building. So, can you share more about your thought process and sort of the concept behind Bad Eggs?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been in this Web3 space since it started.
Yeah,
And I own more NFTs than my wife probably knows. But I dived. I mean, I dived fully in. I've got to be in it to understand it.
yeah,
And what I wanted to do with Bad Eggs, and we created it 2 years ago actually, but we didn't launch it because obviously the NFT market cooled down as we knew it would.
yes,
Because I mean, everything's a .com bubble, and a few survive and a few go away, and then you go again. So we launched Bad Eggs this week. So it's good timing to talk. So we launched on Thursday. And the real premise of it was Bad Eggs doing good. So I wanted to build a community, and this is what we're going to be talking about post-launch, is how can our community of Bad Eggs holders and fans do good in the wider world. So that was really a big belief for me. So listen, Toikido as a business I love that we give back. So we've supported the Teenage Cancer Trust. We've supported a charity called Whiz Kids, that brilliant charity that helps kids get sort of wheelchairs and ability to move. So Bad Eggs is my vision for this is, as we grow the brand, we're going to start supporting community. And it goes back to my in society. So we're going to look for resurfacing basketball courts, or helping redevelop skateboard parks, or things that get not just kids, but things that get people out and moving, but they can look at it and go, oh, Bad Eggs did that. So
I get it now. Yeah, I get it, because bad eggs, the connotation, if you got a bad, rotten egg, but it's actually sort of a play on words, because it's actually a good thing.
Yeah. And listen, I won't show this one to my kids, but I was considered a bad egg as a kid. So I was they call it excluded now. It was expelled when I was a kid, but I was excluded from a couple of schools when I was young, because I was trying to find my passion, I think. And when I found it, I was like, okay, I understand this now, and we're going to go for it. So yeah, so we'll announce our first activity, which will take place in actually in Los Angeles in August.
Awesome.
So it's but we'll announce that. I think next week we'll announce that one. But it's all done. It's all ready to go. The activation's in place. It's around basketball. It's going to be a big community incentive that will go around Los Angeles with an amazing partner based in the US. But that will be our first kind of Bad Eggs. Oh, okay, this is what these guys are up to. Yeah. And then on top of that, listen, we build brands. So in the next 12 months, we have a magazine ready to go. The first 5 comics are done. Wow. There's a game in development, there's animation in development. So whilst we didn't launch Bad Eggs 2 years ago, we've continued to invest in it, which is really cool, because we're going to launch in Web3 first, but we know that we've got all this stuff in the locker ready to show. I mean, even the first. I mean, I shouldn't show you this.
That's so awesome. It's like you're like a kid, right?
I am like a kid. Listen,
I can't. I want to.
Listen, my team say I overshare, but I'll show you this.
Okay.
So this is the prototype of our first vinyl toy.
It. Oh man, that's so cool.
So yeah, listen, because we come from this space. I mean, I think we've sold something like 20-30 million Among Us toys so far globally.
Okay, you talked about those collaborations, and I mean, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the notable names like GaryVee and VeeFriends, and those lucrative or impressive licensing deals that you got. How do you go about choosing your partners? Because it's easy choosing the wrong partner, and in business, having the right partner is almost everything.
Yeah. I'll talk about Gary in a second. Gary. We could do hours on Gary. Actually, no, I'll do Gary now. So Gary and I met. I mean, listen, it's a very Ponzi story, but we met through a mutual friend, Liam, who was in One Direction.
Name drop.
Yeah, so Liam, I knew Liam's manager. We were fishing, and Liam showed me one of his sketches. He sketches, and I just said, look, send that to me, and I'll get my guys to do a 3D rig of it, just in case you ever want to make a toy or have it on stage or whatever. And then he called me afterwards. He said, listen, I was talking to GaryVee. He wants to make this an NFT together. Is that cool? And we'll give you one. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I get a call from Gary saying, look, I'm impressed with this work you've done. I've launched this thing called VeeFriends, and it was his original hand sketches.
Yes.
And he said, look, what would you like? We want to build this into a brand. And I said, look, I was like, listen, they need to be characters, because within the VeeFriends 180, 187, you have like a fly, and you have a whale, and you have And so what we did for Gary was standardize. So we did all the characters for VeeFriends 2. So we did a lot of that character work. And then Gary invested in Toikido back in December 21.
So
So
cool.
he's brilliant. Listen, he
gets it.
Everything you see of Gary on his platform, social media, when the cameras are off, that's Gary.
Yeah.
He's a million miles an hour. He's the only man that puts 8-minute meetings in my calendar. And we achieve in 8 minutes what I do in a day with other people. Like he's a force of nature, but he's a great human.
Okay. Besides Gary, what do you look for?
Listen, I'm grateful to have been doing this long enough to know a lot of good people in the space.
Okay, good people.
So you mentioned Panini. We work with Panini. We've worked with Tops and Fanatics.
Yeah.
I mean, globally, we've got product and partnerships in over 104 countries around the world as Toikido.
Jeez.
So we've worked with Apple and we've worked with Netflix, but it all comes down to people. At home, and this is my wife saying, not mine. If it's not positive and it doesn't bring happiness, it's not allowed in. So we live in a very happy home bubble. I
love it.
But I've taken that into business because otherwise that old analogy of I think it's you are the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
If one of them is rotten and negative, then it outdoes all the good. So I try and stay positive and upbeat, but I do overshare. I'm gonna get into trouble for showing that.
Darran, last question before I let you go. Again from the community, someone wanted to know what is it about you? What is that character trait that makes you see an opportunity out there, for a global product, whereas other people don't?
Oh, brilliant. Do you know what? I'm going to say I've been blessed to work with brilliant entrepreneurs who have taught me to read ferociously and learn, just constantly be looking at new spaces. Not all of them will work, but learn. I mean, one of the guys I work very closely with on a property called Moshi Monsters, which some people remember, some won't. It was sort of back in 2011, 2012. But that guy, Michael Acton Smith, unbelievable entrepreneur. We did 5 years together. We almost sold the business to Disney. We didn't. Our VCs wouldn't let us. Great learnings. But Michael went on to become the founder of Calm, the meditation app. And he started that business while I was working with him. And I was like, how on earth have you? He said, and he summed it up. He said, people need to meditate more and they're always on their phones. So we need to put the meditation where they are, not that they have to try and find it. And I think that's what we try and do at Toikido, that I surround myself with smarter people than me, who send me books and they send me things to read and they send me games to play. And I'm also, I mean, the last thing is, listen, I'm very grateful. I'm very fortunate to have young kids around. Like my kids are at home, they're 5 and 11 and 13. The 5-year-old is, I mean, I don't know if he should be, is this good parenting? But he is in Roblox every day. So I'm looking at why are you playing that? And I'm asking them questions. And then my middle kid's in YouTube, so I'm getting to know these new influencers. And then my older kid, I mean, he's going to end up in my industry with me because he's constantly creating. And he was asking me about Bored Apes.
Wow.
When he shouldn't, I mean, should he have known about Bored Apes 3 years ago?
I feel you. Kids keep us young. And if you really want to be innovative, just ask a 5 or 6-year-old what's
100%.
And you build that. Don't overthink it, you build that.
Do you know what, Rocco? I was at an event called Kids Screen, which in the kids and family media, it's quite a big deal. And I was on stage and talking about Roblox, actually, and I asked the audience, and this is 200 people in kids media, I said, have any of you heard of Skibbity Toilet? And 2 hands went up. And I'm like, listen, this thing is a juggernaut on social media. And it was my 5-year-old was singing the Skibbity Toilet song. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
And now toys are coming out for it. And you're gonna listen, it's gonna be all over the world shortly from Roblox and YouTube. I mean,
absolutely.
These are the platforms.
And TikTok to an extent.
Oh, yeah.
You can't forget about TikTok. Darran, thank you so much for joining me today.
No worries, man.
If the listeners want to find out more about Bad Eggs, and they want to follow you, where can they do that?
Listen, social media. I'm on Twitter. It's my name and surname, Darran Garnham. Instagram the same. Listen, and I'm completely open. I mean, DM me, hit me up. I'm on Discord as well, and Bad Eggs are on Discord. But and listen, email as well. I'm very open. Listen, it's Darran DARRAN at Toikido TOIKIDO.com.
I can attest to this. You are always on, and you are electric, and the vibes are immaculate.
Thank you, buddy.
Darran, thank you so much. We'll put all the links in the comments. To our listeners, peace, love, and prosperity. We'll catch you on the next one.
From Pokémon to Yu-Gi-Oh, he's led the way. Now with Toikido, he's here to stay. Spotting trends, moving fast. In the digital world, his shadow is cast. Turning dreams to toys in a flash. In the market, he's making a splash. Toikido, gotta catch the trends. At the speed of culture, it never ends. From sunny side streets to every child's hands, building dreams with the world's best brands. Building dreams with the world's best brands. Radical, a new revolution. Digital collectibles in motion. Skateboarding spirit, adventure unfolds. In the blockchain world, the story's told. From physical toys to NFTs, creating magic, breaking boundaries. With GaryVee and OpenSea, in Web3 they're flying free. Toikido, gotta catch the trends. At the speed of culture, it never ends. From sunny side streets to every child's hands, building dreams with the world's best brands. Radical, a new revolution. Digital collectibles in motion. Skateboarding spirit, adventure unfolds. In the blockchain world, the story's told. From physical toys paved the way. From Toy Story to Minions, he's here to stay. Mama's Jurassic Park, the list goes on. With Toikido, the legacy lives strong. With Toikido, the legacy lives strong. Toikido, gotta catch the trends. At the speed of culture, it never ends. From sunny side streets to every child's hands, building dreams with the world's best brands. Darran Garnham leading the charge. In the world of toys, he's setting the bar. Toikido, the future's bright. In the digital age, they shine the light. Darran Garnham leading the charge. In the world of toys, he set the bar. Toikido, the future's bright. In the digital age, they shine the light.